When a podcaster agrees to bring you on their show as a featured guest, they do so because they see value in what you have to offer. They know an epic conversation with you is going to lead to content that resonates with their audience. That content will in turn fuel audience growth. When the audience grows, your message gets heard by a wider base of listeners. But all of that value and all of those gains will be wiped out if you do this one thing when you make your guest appearance. Today we're going to talk about the one thing you should never do as a podcast guest. My name is Jason Cercone, and I'm on a mission to bring purpose and clarity to podcast guest marketing with this channel. If you'd like to support my efforts, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you're the first to know when new content goes live. Also, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up so more viewers like yourself can find it in the algorithm. So as you embark on your podcast guest marketing campaigns and you begin going on podcasts that align with your mission and your message, there are a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts that you want to keep front of mind. Today, we're going to talk about the number one don't. Do not sell. The podcast platform has a lot to offer in regards to building your brand, but one of the things that will absolutely destroy any chance you have for growth is being a salesperson when you appear on podcasts in your space. People do not tune into podcasts for a sales pitch. They tune in because they get value from the show, they get information, entertainment, education. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they can feel better after listening to that podcast because they can feel like they were either entertained or they walked away with new information that they can apply to their own life practices. If you show up in sales mode and spend the entire interview talking about how great your product or service is, or why everybody within earshot of that podcast needs to be doing business with you, everybody loses. The audience loses because they didn't click play to hear an infomercial. They clicked play to be impacted by your message. They trust the host to bring on people that are going to give them something that helps them, something that entertains them. And if you don't deliver on your end of the collaboration, that audience is going to lose in a big way, and they may walk away from that podcast for good. The host of the show loses because they care about the content that they serve their audience. And if they serve them something that's subpar or does nothing but sell them, then the audience is going to respond in a negative way, and they actually could lose audience members, which is going to affect their growth. Now they're pissed off at you for wasting everyone's time. And that's if that interview even sees the light of day. Some podcasters may just hit delete because they know their audience is not going to be receptive to that message. And of course you lose because your job was to impact the audience to a point where they would want to seek you out for more value. If all you do is offer them a sales pitch for the entire time, then they have no reason to seek you out for more. A big thing to keep in mind, and this is a golden rule for podcasting across the board, whether you're the host of a show or the guest on a show, keep the listener experience front of mind. The listener experience is what it's all about. Put yourself in the listener's shoes. When you're listening to a podcast, do you want to be served a sales pitch the whole time? Or do you want to hear something that's relatable and compelling and engaging? A brand story that makes you say, wow, that sounds a lot like what happened to me. Something that's going to make you look at this person and say, they are a resource. I want to be a part of their world. I'm going to seek them out for more value when I'm done listening to this show. Obviously, you want the latter, and if you're in sales mode, you completely eliminate the ability for that to happen because the listener experience has been shot in the foot and there's really no way to recover. You have to start thinking about things a little bit differently. And when you go on podcasts, of course you're going to have an opportunity to present what you have to offer to the audience, but you don't have to do so through a blatant sales pitch. When you show up as a value-driven guest who arrives to make an impact and deliver a message that's going to resonate with the audience, you don't have to do a sales pitch. That value is going to position you as an authority. And when you're an authority, people are going to see you as someone they want to learn more from. Therefore, they're going to follow your call to action, they're going to enter into your ecosystem, and you're going to have the perfect opportunity to impact them and nurture them and ultimately turn them into a paying customer and a loyal brand advocate. The podcast interview is really step one in the process of bringing people over to your world. So you want to make sure you're putting yourself in a position to where people are going to want more from you. And I can guarantee you, if you're doing nothing but selling them, they're not going to want more from you. And remember this, if you do your part as an impactful, value-driven podcast guest, The host is going to put you over and do all the selling for you. They're going to tell their audience why they should put their trust in you because you did your part to help them create content that resonated with that audience and ultimately gives them something that will help them bring more listeners into their show. So do your part as a guest by providing value versus doing all kinds of sales tactics, and let your value be the sales pitch. Because again, that host is going to love what you brought to the show, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure their audience understands why you're the person to turn to. Okay, so one more time for everybody in the back, what's the one thing we're not going to do when we show up for our next podcast interview? Do not sell. Be the guest that shows up with value to offer and ultimately something that's going to make them come to you for more information, entertainment, and education in the future. I'm Jason Cercone, and I'm on a mission to bring purpose and clarity to podcast guest marketing with this channel. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe today and click the bell so you know when new content goes live each and every week. Also, if you dig this video today, give it a big thumbs up so more viewers like you can find it in the algorithm. Thanks for stopping by today, and if you have anything to say about this video, join me in the comments below for a great conversation. And while you're here, check out this video where I'm explaining the ins and outs of podcast guest marketing and optimization. I'll see you next time.